Hello YouTube. This is a quick maintenance wash on my 1998 S-Class. As you can see, we've already given it a rinse and we've just applied the snow foam by way of a pre-wash. Just showing you around the outside of the car so you can see how well this particular foam clings. I usually give it a 5-minute dwell time with a good thick coating of foam. If it's hotter, obviously less dwell time because you don't want it drying out on the car. The idea is that it's dragging the dirt and the muck and the dust off the paintwork so that we don't scratch it when we come to do the hand wash later on. It is important though that we get into all the nooks and crannies and all the seals and all the fiddly bits that you're not going to get into with the sponge. So in a moment you'll see me break out the trusty hog's hair brush. Now I have different hog's hair brushes for different bits of the car. So although you won't see it in the video, I do switch between bodywork, glass and wheel hog's hair brushes as we go through. So just working it in around the window surround, which is always an awkward spot, and then working it in around the grille, getting all the dirt and detritus out of there, making sure that we get all the fly squash off. Never going to get in there with a sponge, and you don't really want to be hammering it with a pressure washer, especially if it's not your car. You never know what bits of trim might be loose. Giving the number plate a quick scrub, get all the fly squash off there, not forgetting to go around the surround and get all the grit and the dust out of there because it just collects. It's also a good way to get a pre-clean on your headlamps. Again, same sort of thing, fly squash, road grime, working it in all the seals, all the awkward to reach places, so that when you come to rinse the car off and go to hand wash, you're not trying to get them with the sponge. Just work right around the window seals, into the corner of the windows where the wipers collect all the junk. Also working it in under the wipers. I do lift the wipers, but it's very difficult to do that when you've got a camera in your hand. The bonnet grille, just getting the junk out of there and into the window seals. And sometimes if the windows are particularly bad, I'll work the windows as well, just to get all the junk out of there and around the mirrors. I'll work the whole panel. These piano black type trims are also worth giving a quick scrub to as well. Get all the junk off there, because if you are going to polish later on, it pays to have them clean, otherwise you can just make the swirl marks even worse. Quick self-indulgence with the foam on the Bridgestone tyres, just to show you how well it clings. Just noticed that as we were standing back from the car, that it had clung to the writing on the tyres. And now a quick rinse. A very quick rinse in 4 times speed. Always start from the top down. Now some people say to foam from the ground up so that you get a longer dwell time on the dirtiest part of the car, which is usually the lower quarter of the car. But when it comes to rinsing, I tend to rinse from the top down, and then you're not getting, you're getting all the dirt off the glass and it's moving down the car. It's the same with any type of car cleaning. Usually you would start a hand wash from the top down as well, so that the dirt makes its way down the car to the ground, and that you're not rubbing any grit that remains on the paint in when you come to the hand wash stage. Make sure you get all the foam out of all the nooks and crannies, all the window seals. Don't show you on camera, but I also open the fuel filler, clean in there, under the arches. Now moved on to fallout remover, doing the wheel arches, the bumper, all the areas where you're going to get brake dust and other people's brake dust gathering. It slowly starts to turn red when you apply it. I usually leave it to dwell for a minute or two, then work it in with a different hog's hair brush, a softer brush, just gently in around the arches. This car's on trims rather than rims, but it's absolutely fine to use on plastic, or most of them are. Always check the manufacturer's guidelines on those. And you see it slowly turning red as we work it into all those grooves in the wheel trims. getting all that brake dust that's adhered onto them. It's absolutely fine on the chrome on these. And then rinse it off. Make sure you get it out of all the nooks and crannies again. It dries on with the stain, and then you might be able to polish it off or check it off with some APC. There you go. These are original wheel trims as well, so these wheel trims have been on the road since 1998. The car did actually come with a set of alloy wheels, but as I'm getting a lot of love for having the wheel trims on there, they're still on, and to be honest, it keeps the brake dust off the car as well. As my camera falls over. Seriously professional video quality. There you go, just a quick zoom in to show you the iron fallout remover doing its thing, working it into all those holes in the wheel trims. You can see all the brake dust that's gathered in there, working it around the Mercedes emblem, which was starting to look pretty crusty, to be honest. This is my daily driver, so it's probably done 1,500 miles since it last had a maintenance wash. Rinse it off again. I won't bore you with the other two wheels, but basically the same process right the way around the car. Making sure that you get all that iron fallout remover off. Alright, grit guard in the bucket for the famed 2-bucket wash. A well-fitted grit guard is kind of essential. Got a shampoo in there, nice foam with this particular shampoo. Fill it slowly with a pressure washer. If you find you're struggling to get foam, it can be a sign of a dirty bucket that needs cleaning out. If you want more foam in the bucket, just put the pressure head back on the pressure washer. A clean rinse bucket again with the grit guard in. It's actually a 3-bucket wash in truth, because we would normally use a 3rd bucket for the wheels, but in this case, because she's on trims, there's no need to get the wheel brush out. Working your way over each panel of the car. See me reverse the mitt there when I've gone from roof to windows, and then rinse and work out the grit with a hand, and then back onto the bodywork of the car. Apologies there for the bum crack moment there. I do try and edit them out. And you can see it's a good quality shampoo, so it's clinging to the car. Basically doing a similar job to what the snow foam did. So we've jumped ahead a bit here. We've done the rinse off after the hand wash, and we're now applying ceramic foam to the bodywork and the rest of the car. No dwell time on the ceramic foam, it's just apply and then rinse straight off. Again, you don't want this to dry out if it's a hot sunny day. And ideally the bodywork needs to be cool, so you don't want to be doing this in direct sunlight. To be honest, you don't really want to be cleaning the car in direct sunlight at all, but if you do have to, it's definitely worth doing it quarter or half at a time and rinsing in between to keep the car wet to stop you getting watermarking on there. Good dose of ceramic foam, doubling up on the lower part of the car, because this stuff's awesome and it allows the dirt to come off. Yep, I caught that one, not quite, sorry about that. I'm now back with the rinse. It really is cool, you can't really see it on camera, but as you rinse this stuff off, it just shoots off the car. It's fine to use on the entire car, it's on glass, wheels, etc. Probably last about 3 months, although I never use it that long. I've usually topped up probably once a month. Makes cleaning the car sort of a quick wash off, and much easier because the road dirt and grime doesn't stick to the paint. Making sure again that we get into all the door shuts, making sure that we direct the jet behind the door trim there. So there's nothing worse than cleaning your car off and then noticing that there's dirty water running out of the bottom of your door trims, because usually there's a gap to allow them to drain. They're not usually perfectly sealed, certainly not on a car of this age, 23, 24 years old. Just working around the other side of the car. Here we go. Now on with the drying towel. Now these drying towels are absolutely fantastic, as you see. You'll just place it on the car, and in a sec we'll just peel it off, and you'll see that it leaves the car perfectly dry. You can see the outline of the towel there. Now it's more than just a party trick, although it's a pretty good party trick. One, if you're doing this professionally, it makes it so much quicker to dry a car. Two, if you're at a show, it means if there's a rain shower, you can get your car dry again almost straight away. And three, it means that we don't need to scrub away at the car with, God forbid, you know, old school wash leather or a lesser towel. We can just move the towel gently over the surface, so should there be any grit or anything dust wise that's landed on the car, we're not grinding that into the paint. And then you can see that ceramic foam doing its thing there with the water beading and sheeting off the car. Awesome stuff, absolutely love that stuff. Onto the wheels. Putting a product on the wheels now that's fine for plastic, rubber, etc. So it's on the tyres, and because we've got plastic wheel trims, we're getting it on the trims as well for that extra bit of shine and extra bit of protection. Work it in to the trim with a microfiber cloth. Don't have to use a new one, just a clean one for that. Work it into all the little intricate areas on there. And then using a tyre applicator or an old sponge, whatever you prefer really, just working it into the sidewalls of the tyres to give you a really nice shine. Not everybody likes this, and there are other products that give you a matte finish, and there's also wheel cleaners out there that do the tyres that just give you a natural finish, but I find that with the chrome rings on these wheel trims, it really does pop. Not everybody's cup of tea, but there seems to be a lot of love out there on the internet for an S-Class W140 on trim, so I've left them on. Awesome, and it really was that easy, and they were pretty grubby as well. A quick walk round, you see that magically we've done all four wheels, and that's it. Obviously we moved on to the inside of the car, etc., but I'll just leave you with a few shots of what she looks like when she is freshly polished.